I will try to put most of the links and files used in the video like in description, maybe something on Google Drive, but most of it you can find yourself, and I'm just gonna basically do it in front of you as well. I'm gonna download everything from scratch. I mean, almost everything. So first, search for unofficial modding guide, and usually it's gonna be the first result you find, and just click it. Here, unofficialmoddingguide.com. You don't have to read anything from here for now, but after you finish the video, I suggest you read all of that. It's actually not that much to read, but it's gonna give you a better picture of modding and in general. So first we go to basics and we download fmodel. And we put it in a separate folder. Make sure to create a separate folder where you're gonna keep all of your mods and all of your stuff related to modding of Ready or Not. It's gonna be a lot easier for you to organize that way. So I already have a folder here. Let's paste fmodel. So fmodel, we're gonna need to read and extract vanilla files from the game, and then we're gonna modify them with other stuff. So then we need to download uassetgui. It opens GitHub page. Go to releases here on the right. Just download latest version. We just need uassetgui exe. Copy and paste it as well in our folder for mods. And now we basically only need to download one more thing for the basic start. Yeah, also, if you have any more questions and for some reason I'm not gonna be able to answer them because I don't know everything. I'm actually not that good at modding at all. So there is a Discord where there is a lot of modders already or not sitting, and you can try to ask your questions there or find some files, etc. For now, we're just gonna download mappings. And paste them as well in the same folder. So both fmodel and mappings, fmodel and uassetgui need mappings file to, well, basically read game files correctly. So first we're gonna start with opening fmodel. Oh, wait, let me capture it for you. All right, good. And full screen. There we go. All right. So I already have some settings here, but it's fine. We're gonna go through all of the important ones. First off, choose your output directory. This is where you're gonna extract your files, and then you're gonna grab them from there. So right now for me, it's the same folder for mods and just folder named output. Then you need to choose archive directory. This is where your Ready or Not game is installed. For me, it's this way. For you, it might be different. If you want to find it quickly, right click on Ready or Not in your library. There should be something like manage or something like that somewhere here, and it should say browse local files. And if you open it, it's gonna open the folder you need. Also, you can go to properties, and there is also like installed files or local files, something like that. It's the third row. And here you can just click on the right over here, and it's gonna open the folder too. Once you found the game folder, you go to Ready or Not, Content, and Packs. This is the folder you need, and you just choose it, and it's gonna be here, Archive Directory. Unreal Engine versions, I don't actually remember why I chose UI 5.5, but it just works for me. So you can try to choose the same one. I'm not sure which one is like entirely correct. I mean, I think we're supposed to use the version 5.3. Yeah, I think it's 5.3. So let's try to switch it to 5.3. But it worked for me on 5.5 just fine as well. So yeah, just make sure to choose Unreal Engine 5 version here. The game uses 5.3.2 Unreal Engine. So we have to use it for modding too. Then you just need to choose mapping file path. Yeah. And you just choose it right here where you put it, your mappings file. And then you press OK. And you need to restart fmodel after it. Yeah. So once you restart fmodel, you can start extracting game files. Before you do that, and before you start fmodel, I recommend you to remove all the mods from your game. I mean, do not like delete them. You don't have to delete them. Just move them out of your folder inside like other folder, just so they're not in packs folder. So it doesn't bother the fmodel. Because for me, it happened like sometimes where I like chose one pack file to look at, like the vanilla pack file. So I look inside of it and I see modified values, like non-vanilla values, because other pack file in the same folder kind of like overwrites it. So yeah, make sure you have only vanilla files here when you try to extract vanilla files. So by default, the loading mode here will be multiple. Make sure to set it to all. That way you don't have to like search each pack file one by one for whatever file you need. You can just press load and it's going to show you everything, every single pack file that it's loaded has. I'm just gonna quickly check if it works for me. Yeah, we have 23 maps here. Usually in PuckChunk 0, if you only open like PuckChunk 0, the first file, it's gonna be like 10 here. So you're gonna have to search like the whole PuckChunk list for each map. And this way, if you choose all right here, loading mode, you can have them all here just by clicking load over here. So that's that. First off, we need to test if we can even make mods. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna extract config file for AI difficulties. Yeah. We're just gonna extract, I think, yeah, difficulties folder is fine. No, wait. Actually, we're gonna extract everything we'll need later. But I mean, just for like the video purposes, if you want, you can only extract like this file if you only need like basic difficulty settings. But right now I'm gonna extract everything we might need later, so I don't have to come back to F model again. So yeah, we just go to ready or not, config, difficulties, and here are all the 3 difficulties in the game. We just right click on it and export folders, packages, raw data. Now we either go to the folder we set in settings for output, or we can just click here and it's going to open it. For now, I'm just gonna copy the whole ready or not folder from here and just paste it right here. I'm gonna rename it for now. Test AI mod. So the important thing is your mod should copy the structure of how it looks in the game files, like vanilla game files. For example, here it's ready or not, config, difficulties, and then text files for difficulties. This means our mod should do the same. We have folder, and then we have config, difficulties, and our difficulties. Depending on the game update, sometimes you might have to create a ready or not folder inside of this folder and then place config inside of it. So if something doesn't work, you can try to do that. All right. So we extracted this, we extracted our configs. And now I'm gonna extract everything else we might need for the AI in later. You can skip this part if you want, or you can watch it, because if you plan to like really mod the AI, like really get into it, you might need all of those files extracted just from the start. So let's do it. We're gonna need data tables, just whole data tables, just like that, extract. And we're gonna need characters, just extract characters. We might need animation. Or specifically, the one I need. Let me try to remember what it was. No, it's not here. Actually, oh, animation. No, not this animation. Not this animation. Okay. We definitely need AI folder. What else we need? Let me remember. I think we need items. We need items. Specifically, I want armor suspects. Yeah, explosive vests. Yeah. Let's extract armor suspects. We're gonna do something with explosive vest as well. What else do we need? In ready or not folder, we need animations. I think it was revised. Third person. New AI shared. Suspects. Yeah, this one. Suspects. Just extract suspects. Then we go to plugins. game features. Ready or not DLC 2. Data tables AI. Yeah, we extract data tables here. And we extract data tables from here as well. Then DLC 4. I don't actually remember. Yeah. It's the latest DLC on the boiling point one. Extracted too. Okay. If I remember correctly, we extracted everything we need. So yeah, I think we can close fmodel for now. And go to output folder, experts, just copy everything from here. Go to our test AI mod. This one we can delete. Now we have everything. But we're only gonna change like one thing right now. We're gonna change a hard difficulty. Make sure you have Notepad++ for this. I mean, I will try to leave a link in description for Notepad++, but I think if you searched for a video on how to make AI mods, you probably already have it. It's just gonna be a lot more comfortable editing the text files. Let's just change suspect count then. Control F to open the search tab. Just type agency here, find agency. This is Brixley map. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna change max suspects to 1 and min suspects to 1. It's probably gonna be not 1 but 2 suspects because there is a unique NPC that spawns no matter what you do, like in this text file, I think. And also make sure not to forget about spawn groups. So the spawn groups are basically areas of the map that have limited amount of AI it can spawn inside of it. And that's how devs basically kind of balance different areas of the map. So it doesn't spawn like way too much suspects or way too few suspects. So we just set everything to max of 1. We can also try to make 0 civilians, doesn't matter. Yeah. And now we need to somehow turn this into a pack file. How do we do that? Well, actually in the basics, it gives you the bat file for it. But mine is different for some reason and it works perfectly for me. So you can either use this or use mine. I'm going to show it in a second. You will also need to download Unreal Engine 5, 5.3 to be exact. The easiest way to download it is probably to just get Epic Games. Go to Unreal Engine tab here. Go to Library. And here you can have different Unreal Engine versions. You just hit plus here and search for Unreal Engine 5.3.2. I already have it installed, so I don't have it in my list, I think. Installed right here. You just need to install it. You don't need to launch it or anything, I'm pretty sure. So once you install it, you can close it. And then you need to go to location of installation of your Unreal Engine 5 and go to engine binaries Win64 and find Unreal Pack exe. So you'll go here. For me, it's in C program files, Epic Games. You go to 5.3 engine binaries Win64 and find Unreal Pack. Just make sure you have it. Then you need to create a bat file that is going to launch this file. We're gonna use Unreal Pack exactly for making pack files from folders with changed vanilla files of the game we made. So I already have a bat file here. I'm just gonna quickly open it, copy this. I'll put it, I think I'll put the code in the comment section. You can also just like kind of try to rewrite it from here, but I think I'll copy it in the comments so you can just copy it. So in front of you, I'm just gonna recreate the file. Create text file, create text file, pack dot bat. Make sure you have file extensions enabled. To enable file extensions, you have to press 3 dots on here in Windows 11. Parameters, I think it's the bottom one, parameters. And here somewhere in view, you're gonna have like somewhere around here, if you scroll all the way down, somewhere around here, you're gonna have like something like hide extensions for registered file types. Just make sure to unbind it, like uncheck it, and just press apply. Alright, so once you created a pack file, a bat file, I mean, you can name it whatever you want. You just name it pack, because you know, like the mods and game files are .pack, so it's kind of convenient. You edit it in Notepad or any type of Notepad actually, but Notepad++ is just gonna be better. And you paste the code here. As you can see, it uses Unreal Pack exe to pack files with some settings. Okay, that's all we need for now. From here, we just create, we right click on pack.bat. You can right click it like multiple times to try to get this kind of menu, like the more like oldish one from like Windows 10 or something. Or you can click and hit show like advanced parameters. And then you click create shortcut. Create shortcut. I think it's somewhere all the way down. Yeah. It was created in somewhere all the way down. You just cut it from here and you paste it right here. So it's more comfortable to use. So you don't have to go all the way to the folder. You can also edit it from here as well, which is pretty convenient. And so now to create a pack file, we just move our test AI mod to here, but first we need to name it properly. So we should name it pack chunk. And then we can just write whatever we want. Usually people name it with like 99, something like the name of the mod. It actually doesn't matter if you put 99 in here. The 99 thing is just to make sure the mod loads after vanilla files, so it overrides them. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna name it whatever. Just gonna name it like test mod. Just to show you that it doesn't really matter if you put like 99 there or not. But usually it's good habit to put like numbers in there. You can also put like not numbers, you can put symbols like these letters. Because if you sort by name, like sort the files by name, the letters are gonna go after the numbers. So it's still gonna overwrite properly. So now we just move our pack file, I mean our folder, to the bat file. It runs a script. it just says executed. It doesn't show any errors. We just press any button, and here we have our pack file. We're right now just testing the mod real quick, just to make sure that we can actually make them and we didn't mess up anything like with file structure or with like packing into a pack file, all of this basic stuff. So we don't want to do way too much work before we actually know if the mod works. So yeah, as you can see, if we sort by name, it's all the way in the end, which means it's gonna overwrite the vanilla files. So it's good. And now let's start the game and test the mod. And see if our mod works. Didn't manage to make 0 civilians, but it's alright. For now, we just test if we can like change the game files at all. So here's the Brixley guy, and she'll be the second guy somewhere. And you can see we got Bring Order to Chaos. There is no way for only 2 people to spawn on this map, so now it's obvious that the mod works, and we can close the game for now. Now we can start make more significant changes now that we know that we can actually like copy the structure properly and make the pack file properly. So we are certain that whatever we change is going to reflect in the game somehow. So now let's try to use uassetgui. This is needed to make like more complex changes. I mean, not necessarily complex, but usually what you have here in config of difficulties is like not a lot you can change about the behavior and stuff. But for now, we're just gonna use uassetgui to change suspect's gear on the map. I think I'm already gonna use basically just the Brixley map, the spider, for testing and for the guide purposes. But on the other maps, it's about the same. So it doesn't really matter that much. If we're gonna use only one map, it's fine. So once we started uassetgui, we click utils, import mappings, and then we choose the same mappings file we downloaded earlier. Name it however we want, ready or not, and we just choose it over here as a config, and we choose a correct engine version, which is 5.3. After that, we can close uassetgui, and we can try to edit something in the mod. So we extracted something in content, blueprints, data tables, AI, and right now we need agency. So let's make it more comfortable. So whenever we double click, it just opens with uassetgui. Let's go to advanced parameters, properties. There is going to be like general here. I think general looks something like that. Application, and you change the application it runs with to uassetgui. Click apply. You can see the icon changed, and you can just double click to open it with uassetgui, and it's going to be like that. Or you can just open it like this file, doesn't matter. So this is a uasset file for the spider map, which contains some settings for suspects on this map. For example, their weapons. So they have 3 types of suspects here, not counting the Brixley himself, the VIP suspect. Each suspect has an archetype, which applies a behavioral setup for him. Like, it mostly it controls his behavior. Like, suspect professional is gonna be behaving a bit differently from suspect VIP. It uses different files for setting up the behavior. Right now we're only interested in changing the gun just to show you like what you can do with uasset files and how you can edit them. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna open suspect agent A and suspect agency Brixley. Open their weapon loadouts. And you can see Brixley has 2 weapon loadouts. One is when he has his pistol as a secondary, and I'm pretty sure it's concealed. And the second one is it's already in his hand, so it's a secondary that counts as a primary, so it's in his hand from the start. I'm not sure, but I think it works like this. I think for now we're just gonna delete this one. So we delete the second loadout because we don't need it right now. Be careful before you delete something, but if you have a backup of vanilla files, it doesn't really matter. For example, I copied everything from the output folder to here. So if I mess something up in this file, I can just copy it again. So yeah, we're just gonna click on this row right here, hit delete on our keyboard, and hit Control S to save the file, or file save. So yeah. As you can see, it did not update the UI. We still have 2 rows in here. To fix it, we go to View, Recalculate Nodes, expand all of it again. Now you can see he has only 1 weapon loadout. So now we open weapon loadout of Agent A, and we can see he has an MP5-10. Copy this from here to here. And usually the second value, if you change weapons, usually it just writes like this. You write primary underscore, because this says primary, then name of the gun, MP5-10, and then underscore C, and Control S to save. Let's check if it's correct. Primary MP5-10C, let's just try to copy paste it. Yeah, it's literally the same. All right, we did everything correctly. And if we did everything correctly and saved the file, if we pack the mod right now, the Brixley on the map should have MP5 instead of just a pistol. Okay, let's go test it. As you can see, he has an MP5 now. So yeah, the mod works again, and we correctly, successfully changed the gun of the suspect. Okay, so now that we've tested that we can make mods and all of our tools are working correctly, we can try to make something actually. I think first thing what I'm gonna do is I'm going to reset the vanilla files. I'm just gonna copy everything again. This might take a while. It should be fast. It's fine. Okay. And then the first thing we do is we go to config, difficulties. I think we'll stick to hard difficulty again. We're just gonna go through that. I think it has the most options anyway. so it's gonna be more useful for the video. And let's make the text a bit smaller and go through the parameters. So here in the info, you can change the difficulty name and description and how it looks like in the menu. Make sure to test it out a bit, because like some of it is better not to change. Like if you want to vanilla difficulty to like look different, like in the menu or somewhere, it's gonna be alright if you just do it for like when you choose a mission from the tablet, like properly on vanilla. It's gonna actually change the names properly, but if you want to change how it looks like in-game menu, if you know that mod, like simple blueprint menu for ready or not, or something like that, simple menu, you can't really change it without going through trouble. So I think like some row over here you should not change. Maybe like first 3 or 4 you can change freely. Let's actually try to do it. Let's change it to hard 2. And I don't really remember what else we have to change. Let me actually check in my other mod how I did it, so I just remember. Okay, over here. So you can just straight up go like this. Wait, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's the wrong one. So if you can actually create like a completely new file for the difficulty, just like copy one file, like place it, replace it, like, I mean, copy one file and just paste it in the same folder, name it differently, and then you can have different names for your difficulties, as you can see here. But what I wanted to try to show you is how to make different difficulties like from vanilla. So yeah, you do not change the gameplay tag. You do not change the gameplay tag. You can change this one to whatever you want. Let's try to do hard 2. This is like a subtext key for like a little description when you choose the difficulty. Let's just say hard 2. And there is a description key. I'm not sure. For some reason, I just leave it a blank space. Let's just do that. And everything else we did not change. All right. So let's close it then. Okay. So that's that. Different names for your custom difficulties in AI mod, or you can try to change vanilla difficulty to other name. All right. Like some of the parameters I might skip because I'm not sure what they do. I did not like really test them. You can test them yourself if you want to. So wait, did I change gameplay tag list? Let me check. No. Okay, good. So this one, so I'm just gonna go through, I'm gonna try to go through all the parameters, and we're gonna just try to like make them as we want them to be. Here is active shooter time between targeting civilians. Some of the parameters have comments on them, which kind of speak for themselves. So I'm not sure if I have to explain them. So this is basically like after active shooter kills one civilian, he needs some time before he can target another civilian. That's it. And this one is active shooter time before targeting first civilian, also speaks for itself. So we have, I think we have 120 seconds here. This is just a voice line to announce kills. Time delay until kill. Honestly, not a fan of active shooter scenario, so I usually don't really touch it, or I just like I like to turn active shooter maps in non-active shooter maps by changing these values. Just make sure when you change a value here, these are global values. These are global values, and some maps have these values as well inside of them to like prioritize. So if there is a setting for some map and it has this setting too, the priority is going to be on local map setting, not on the global one. The global settings are just for like easier automation. Like for example, if you had multiple active shooter maps everywhere and you didn't want to like set up these parameters for each map differently, you could just set a global parameter and it will work everywhere. So, I mean, we can try to change that. Let's try to change it and see if we can like prevent active shooters from killing first civilian at all if we just stay on spawn and do nothing. Or if we trigger them first. Not sure. I'm pretty sure in campus map it works the way that unless they notice you, they don't start shooting civilians. I think someone told me that, and it's pretty funny that it works like that. It's pretty weird, but it does, I think, yeah. There is also a random time delay to kill their victim. Wait until they can. I think it's after he targeted the civilian, there is a random time delay before he wants to kill him, or before he actually kills him. Probably something like that. Again, yeah, active shooter stuff I didn't really test. So let me show you like how do you set global parameters. So you set a global parameter and you want it on every map. What do? You control F, you search for this exact parameter, and you can see they have this parameter on the boat map. It's the Dark Waters DLC, the yacht with the Sahid guy. I think it's when he orders suspects to start basically being active shooters and killing civilians on the boat. And it says it has 120 seconds. It probably has 120 seconds after he does order them to kill civilians. We can try to just remove it completely. So it's gonna be using global parameter, which is 999999999 seconds. There is also, yeah, fast food is also a active shooter map. We can try to remove it from here as well. And there we have it. Oh yeah, so campus map actually does not even have this parameter. Interesting. What about time between targets and civilians? Not anywhere. It was just global for all the maps. All right. Oh yeah, maybe, yeah, it's actually the school map might have this parameter like affecting the school map because the archetypes of shooters in the school map are probably active shooter, so they use this parameter. But it's just global for the school map already. It doesn't have like its own parameter, so it uses the global one. All right, bomb timer. I think default 300. I think it should be 300 seconds. Yeah, it's 300 seconds global. We can try to make it like a lot of seconds, really a lot, but I think max time you can get is 45 minutes. So let's just try to max it out. And again, we're going to make it the same on every map. Okay, let's copy it more properly like this. Bomb timer equals. Now we can search for it properly. On campus is for 80 seconds. We just remove it from here. And on hospital, it's 1200 seconds. Let's try to also remove it. All right. Next, bomb timer warning. Just when talk will play the warning audio. Repeat warning in 30 seconds before the explosion. Max bombs you can have in bomb threat. This parameter feels a bit outdated. I think it's it kind of works only on the school map. It doesn't really work on the hospital map probably, but we can try to make like one bomb. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I think I'm just not gonna touch it. Or just for fun, let's touch it. Let's do one bomb and see if it works. Because on the hospital map, by default, it's always 2 bombs. And on school map, it's also 2 bombs. Let's actually see if this parameter is everywhere but in global section. It is not. Okay, that confirms it. There is also max distance that AI can spawn from each bomb that is selected in bomb thread. I'm not sure if this parameter works at all. I think I'm just not gonna touch it for now. Hostage rescue. I mean, there is no hostage rescue game mode anymore. I'm not sure if this actually works as well. This might be like old deprecated parameters. Way before like... So in beta version, the game had different game modes and maybe that's about it. This also might be the reason this parameter doesn't really work. I know for sure that you can change how many bombs do spawn on the maps. I'm just not sure if you change it by this parameter anymore. Maybe you have to do something else. This is hostage rescue max roamers. Not interested as well. It's probably not gonna work anywhere right now. Max world building activities is so it's world building activities is basically when AI like taking a piss or like smokes or checks their phones, stuff like that. Just not gonna touch it, I think. Suspect health, SWAT health, civilian health. This is all basic stuff. This is just speaks for itself. Just not gonna even change it. Unalerted side range. I think pretty sure this is when the suspect is like unaware of you and his gun is not raised. And that's how far he sees. 5,000. I think this is centimeters. Pretty sure it's centimeters if I remember correctly. So 5,000 means 50 meters. You just subtract 2 zeros because it's all in centimeters, like regardless distance in this config. Suspicious, it's when they suspicious, like they slowly walk. Steel gun, I think it's steel gun, like probably not raised. But I think maybe it doesn't. I don't remember actually, because I always play on a mod that basically makes them always aware, just to make it harder, you know. So I'm not sure. I think suspicious is when they heard something and they think you're somewhere, but they didn't see you yet. And alerted, it's when they alerted. I think it's when they already saw you. Yeah. And this is 100 meters. So about this parameter, how do I explain it? The accuracy of the suspect in this game is set up this way. Imagine there's a suspect standing with a rifle. I know my drawing skills are just excellent. And there is our SWAT guy. And the suspect tries to shoot him. Depending on his accuracy, he has a chance to hit around the guy. The accuracy is represented by the cone, like that. And the further away from the suspect you are, the less accuracy the suspect has on you, like the less chance of hitting you he has. So this is basically the spread of his accuracy that goes further away. In the config file, we can basically choose the amount of degrees this angle has. And the more degrees it has, the less accurate the suspect is. So what this parameter does, shrink accuracy cone at range scale. I'm not sure how to draw it, but it basically makes it so the further away the suspect is from you, the less degrees the cone has, the cone of accuracy has. I know it's weird, but basically it means that if you set up it like in a certain way, and I'm pretty sure in vanilla it's kind of set up this way already, you can make it so the suspect has literally the same accuracy at any distance. Whether is he closer to you or further away from you, it's just gonna take away some degrees from the cone. It's gonna make it smaller, so he's gonna be more accurate with further distance. So the general area that he can hit you with, like where the bullet might go, it's gonna be like more roughly the same, because the further away he is, the less degrees the cone has, and he's just as accurate because of that. So if you want him to actually use like the cone properly, if you want the cone to actually like expand with distance, so he's less accurate with distance, you can basically just set it to a really low number, or you can just set it to 0. This way, with distance, the suspects are gonna be actually less accurate. Side detection accuracy, I think I recommend it to just leave it on 1.0. This is how accurate the AI can side detect players' limbs. Basically, if you set it to like 0, he might not even see you if you like lean out of cover. Like even with like normal lean, no free lean, no nothing, just like slightly lean out, and he might not be able to see you because, yeah, side detection accuracy is too low. So I'd say just leave it at 1. LOS con degrees. So I think if I understood correctly how it works, imagine a suspect is trying to look at you through like a crack in the wall. And you are here. You have a certain amount of like imaginary dots on your character. The dots that are visible to suspect. And how do I put it? So suspect has some amount of field of view, and if we draw one line to one dot and another line to another dot, these two lines can draw us a cone, the same cone, but for different things. And it has some degrees in it. So, LOS con degrees. This is angle in degrees between line traces to target when checking visibility. Both traces must be unobstructed for AI to see player. What does it mean is that you have some angle between these two traces that connect suspect vision to one of your dots on your guy. And the more degrees it needs to have, the more unobstructed for the suspect you should be for him to actually be able to see you. For example, like in this example, if we imagine that the suspect is able to see only 2 of these dots, and he looks at you like this, one of the traces is passing through the cover, and this is too much. This is too much degrees. So he cannot actually see you because he only sees one part of you, like one dot. If we imagine that he uses like this kind of trace and he sees this line, don't pay attention to like the accuracy of the drawing itself. I think you know what I mean, right? And if we allow the degrees to be like half as less, so we have less LOS con degrees setting right here, like it will be like not 0.12 but 0.06, then it will be enough for him to see these 2 lines to actually see you. But if it's the red one, if it's the red value, then he needs a more unobstructed view of you. Oof, I think I explained it proper enough. I think whoever wanted to understand it did understand it. So yeah, basically, if you want suspect to be able to spot you through tiny cracks in the map more easily and more often with more often, yeah, then you make this value less. You can even make it 0. So I think that means like if you make it 0, it means he only has to see literally one dot, and that's it. There is also visibility trace per offset. I'm not sure what 2.f exactly means. Like f, maybe it means float, maybe it means the type of variable, I'm not sure. But this is fixed offset between each trace pair. Yeah, so basically this defines how much distance there should be between 2 of the traces. I think this determines how it creates them. For example, if we want to have more dots on your character for the suspect being able to spot, then we make the number, like, for example, if this is 2, if this is number 2, then this is number 1, 1f. Like, this will be 2 times less, so you have like basically twice more dots on your character. So it's more likely for suspect to spot this dot as well, and more likely for him to see you through the crack. But you have to remember about the LOS con degree as well. So I think that's that. Yeah. Okay, damage cap. This is basically max amount of damage AI can deal you with one bullet, I think. Well, it is. I'm just not sure like how accurate the description is, but if you basically, if you want them to deal more damage, you just increase this value. Or you just decrease this value if you want to balance it around like less damage. For example, you can have less player health, but you can also lower damage cap and balance it around that, so you don't have like you don't get one tapped by one shot. So most of the time, I think if I set it to 1, they can deal only 1 damage at a time. We can try to test it. We can try to put it right here on 1 and see if it worked or not. Oh yeah, this is the So when the suspect is attacking you with melee attack, and you have a ballistic shield on you, if you have this parameter on 0.7, I think you take only 70% of initial damage. I don't know, I guess we can try to make it like 0. So you take 0 damage from melee when shield is equipped. I actually never tested it. I'm not sure if it's gonna work properly, but that's the thing we can test or not test. I'm just gonna change it. You can test it yourself, I think. We're not gonna stop on that for way too long. Side stimulus reaction time. So this is one of the ways to change how long it's gonna take for a suspect to, like, how much time is gonna pass between suspect seeing you and the suspect shooting at you. Side stimulus is basically just the reaction on what the suspect sees. Like if he sees you, it's gonna take him like 200 milliseconds, 0.2 seconds to like react or do something. But it might be not always like this. Sometimes, I'm not sure if it's a bug or it's just a misplaced setting, but sometimes they still might just hit you instantly if they pre-aim at you. So yeah, keep that in mind, but you can test it. You can test some of it. Reaction to sound, reaction to damage. This is a multiplier, so basically when the suspect is alerted, these 200 milliseconds are gonna be multiplied by 0.25, so it's gonna be less reaction time, it's gonna be faster. Same for suspicious. And this one, side reaction time increased per 20 meters. This one speaks for itself. Every 20 meters, the reaction time is gonna be longer for this amount of time. 0. Okay, so this is just 5 milliseconds. Yeah. Same for civilians. Same for SWAT. Civilian alert. Okay, chance to surrender with item. I'm actually not sure what it means. I didn't really test it. My idea is that maybe it's a chance to surrender if the suspect has a knife. I'm not sure. Gun misfire when startled. I mean, this kind of speaks for itself. Never tested it. Not gonna talk way too much about it. These are the global settings for max and min suspects on the map. We're just not gonna change them. Usually if you make a mod, AI mod, you want each of your maps have a certain amount of suspects and civilians, unless you just make like a max suspects mod or something, then you can use global values. Max roaming suspects, I don't know. Yeah, you can increase it to like whatever you want, like 99 roaming suspects. Just make sure it's not gonna instantly automatically mean that you're gonna have roaming suspects everywhere. There is a lot more into that takes to make suspects to roam more often than just this one setting. But I don't know, it might work for you, you can try, but usually it's not gonna instantly give you results. Actually, this is like everything about AI modding in Ready or Not. Like, since we don't have the source code, we don't really know what does what sometimes, and we have to test it ourselves. And sometimes we get unexpected results, even from the parameters that clearly have to do something else. Yeah, same for roaming civilians. The global parameter for explosive vest civilians. Just for fun, we can make it 99. And same for suspects, why not? Okay, suspect accuracy. This is the thing I talked about earlier, the accuracy cone. So basically, you can interpret it as 2.5 degrees. You can make it less, you can make it bigger. If you make it bigger, they're gonna be less accurate. We can make it like 0 degrees is perfectly accurate. I think if you make it 0 degrees, it's also not gonna be really affected by the shrink accuracy cone, even. Not sure. And like the distance itself, because it's 0 degrees. Let's just do 1 degree. Doesn't matter. Just fun. Accuracy when the suspect has explosive vest. I'm not sure if it's a multiplier or modifier, or it's just literally accuracy when he has explosive vest. You kind of have to test it. I don't really remember, to be honest. I usually play on a mod that makes it so suspects who have explosive vests, they do not have guns. So yeah. These are fire rates for suspect guns. You can make it. So I'm not sure. Default rifle, SMG, LMG, pistol. So I think the less value you have, the faster fire rate is gonna be. You can see SMG is 0.06 and pistol is 0.18 and shotgun is 0.8. Yeah. Shotgun fire rate deviation, and these deviations, I guess maybe they kind of randomized the fire rate, not sure, didn't really test it much. Accuracy lost per 10 meters to target. So yeah, the comment kind of speaks for itself. I'm not sure if this parameter works properly, by the way, but yeah, if you want the suspect to lose even more accuracy with distance, you can try to play with it. This one makes suspects lose more accuracy if they move faster, so they don't like perfectly aim at you while strafing. Also didn't really test it much. Cover evaluation cooldown. I'm not sure what it does actually. It's something about like them taking cover or like them making decisions what cover, which cover to take, etc. Not sure. Track last known position time 90. This might be that about the times when you like go behind wall and the suspect just tracks you through the wall and he's gonna look there for 90 more seconds thinking like even if you like go away, he might still look like the same way if he thinks you're still there, and he's gonna do it for 90 seconds. Not too sure about this one. I'll just leave it at 90 seconds. Time with weapon up before firing. So usually it's when the suspect doesn't have their gun raised, I think. And then they're stressed, like they see you, they raise their gun. And here by default, it takes them 100 milliseconds after they raise the gun to start counting other reaction times and stuff like that. I think if his gun is already raised or after he raised it, it's another parameter, suspect required time spent on target. This is another way to control the delay between suspect seeing you and suspect shooting you. It works a bit differently from the side stimulus reaction time. This is when he targets you, not sure, maybe like aims at you or something like that. And this is how long it's gonna take for him after he aimed at you to shoot you. This is just 5 milliseconds. Basically, the vanilla just relies on side stimulus reaction time. So, one thing I noticed is that not sure how to explain it if I remember it properly, but when you set side stimulus reaction time to a high value, or like 250, I don't know, like something proper, something above 0, then if suspect is pre-aiming at you and you go out of cover, he still does take some time before shooting you. But what it also does, if suspect is not pre-aiming at you and he's looking away, this reaction time somehow increases. I didn't really find a parameter for that, like if the reaction time is increasing depending on where you're at in their field of view. Like, are you right in front of them or are you like somewhere to the side of their eyes? But if they're like not looking at you directly, not pre-aiming, it's gonna take them like insane amount of time before they like rotate at you and shoot if you have this above 0 for some reason. But this one, time spent on target, for some reason it feels like the opposite. If you set this one on like 0 or something and you set time spent on target on like above 0, for example, we set 200 milliseconds right in here, then it's gonna work like almost, I don't know, the opposite way. Not the opposite way, but if they're looking away from you, because side stimulus reaction time, like if it's 0 and they're looking away from you, they're going to like aim at you faster, react faster, and then they just have to wait 200 milliseconds before they shoot straight at you. But then if they pre-aim and you go out and they already aimed at you, for some reason, it's like it gets ignored or something, and they just insta-shoot you. I don't know, you can try to test it yourself. Let's just try to make it 0.3 here, I don't know. Engagement time reset on LOS lost time. So when they lose line of sight for like, I guess 1 second, some engagement timer resets. I'm actually not sure what it does. I didn't really test it much. If you really want to know what it does, I guess you have to test it yourself. Maybe someone knows. If someone knows actually like any of what of all of this does, and I didn't explain it properly, you can write in the comments. Yeah, this is when they surrender and they have a knife in their pocket and you get close, they might try to like get up and knife you. Fake forward chance, it's 20% right here. Starting stress. So, suspect starting stress is when basically stress is a value that increases each time you do something. Like some of your actions on the map cause suspects, if they like hear it or see it, it causes them to increase their stress. And depending on the config you set up, when the stress level hits some point, they raise their guns and they start pre-aiming at doors and doorways and like walk around like stressed. And this is when they are more dangerous rather than when they just like walk around with their gun lowered. Even if they're suspicious, they still might walk around with guns low ready, which makes it easier for you to just walk out and like shoot them or arrest them. So if you want like a more like tense game from the beginning, if you want all of them to just instantly be stressed out, you just set it to 100 and that's it. Keep in mind, these are still global parameters. All of these parameters can be used in map sections if you want to specify a setting for your own map. I mean, for a certain map in the game. So yeah, stress until weapon raise. This is how much stress suspects needs to have to raise the gun, as I explained earlier. Max amount of melee suspects that spawn in the level. I'm not sure if it works at all, but it's on 0 by default, which is kind of weird because we definitely have a suspect with knives in dorms and park homes, like Twisted Nerve. So I'm not sure why it's on 0. Oh, maybe it's just a global parameter. Maybe on Twisted Nerf it's greater than 0, but doesn't matter. AI stun duration. Usually it's like from non-lethals and stuff like that. Just for the test purposes, we can make it like 10 seconds, why not? So yeah, and if you want them to just not get stunned at all, you can try to take it on 0. They might still have like a little animation, I'm not sure. Maybe you have to do it different way, but yeah, this is just for how long they get stunned. But there's also stun settings for different things like beanbag, 9-banger, stuff like that. Beanbag is like a non-lethal shotgun, the orange one. Weapon switch cooldown. Okay, so after the suspect switched guns, I think it's when he like emptied the whole mag on the rifle and he switched the pistol. He has to wait 2 seconds before he switches back. I'm not sure, maybe it's that. Squads enabled. I think squads are like a setting for suspects to have squads, which have a leader or something. I don't remember actually how it works. It's a bit of a more recent updates, like a year ago or 2 years ago. I didn't really test it much. Basically, sometimes suspects can act as a group, like push you all together or like do something else. Usually just, I think it's either, I don't know, usually you notice how squads work when they just push you all together, like the whole floor of the map might just push you at the same time. Not sure. I'd say just leave it at true. You can enable or disable friendly fire. I'm pretty sure in casual game mode, friendly fire is disabled. But on hard difficulty is enabled, of course. Friendly fire is like whether or not you can damage your teammate. There is also accuracy offsets for different different weapon types. I never really changed it much, but yeah, you can try to play around with that. Fire rate for SWAT. Launcher fire rate. Yeah, this you already know. Okay. Suspect rifle semi-auto fire rate multiplier. Start. These are the settings for different weapon types. So there is another setting that basically determines how much far away the suspect must be from the player to start lowering his fire rate. Basically, he is, instead of just spraying at you, he's gonna use single fire. Usually it works like that. And that's just like a serving value, like how much to multiply the fire rate. You know, the bigger fire rate is, the more the slower the weapon fire rate is, the bigger like the fire rate setting is, which is kind of weird, but it works like that here. So this is just a multiplier for it, just like I don't know. I'm not sure if you have to change it at all, unless you want to like very specifically set up like on which distance and how fast they can change their fire rate. I don't know. And this, I think, when the suspect is so far away from you that he does not change his fire rate anymore, it just stops at some like cap, like really slow fire rate. Or actually higher fire rate, you probably can even do that, not sure. So usually I just use these two parameters, even one. Suspect semi-auto distance start. So yeah, this means, I think, is a global parameter. Remember, it's a global parameter. On the other maps, it might differ. But on a global parameter, I think it says that on a distance of 20 meters, fire rate starts to scale down by the multiplier. And this one is like when distance is too much. So after 30 meters, I guess the fire rate stops slowing down. All right, yeah, probably like that. So since I made it so, or did I do that? Let me check. Yeah. So I did make it so their accuracy cone is not getting smaller with distance, which means they're less and less accurate with distance. So I like it when they just spray full auto at all the distances, especially when they're less accurate. So the start distance for them to start doing taps instead of spraying, you can just make it all nines. And this one as well, I don't know, doesn't really matter. And this way, they're always gonna spray at you. If you want to do something else, you can do something else. I just showed you how I usually do it. This is another just like a serving variable. This is just like how you do the math or of changing the fire rate. This one is the chance of suspect like getting animation if he takes damage. I'm not sure if it's like a chance to actually stun the suspect. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. You can change it like to 1, so it's gonna play animation, I think, each time you hit the guy, not sure. There's also repeat chance. I think maybe this is when you hit the guy like again. Yeah, if it's mid animation, yeah. The morale. I'm not sure what to tell you about morale. Morale affects different stuff. Like it can affect their likeliness to surrender. It can affect different behavior stuff they can do, like if they want to take cover or something like that. It can affect their reload speed and stuff like that. Basically, the lower the morale, the easier it is for you to play. But the lower the morale, it's also the more likely it's for them to surrender. Same for civilians. We can try to make civilian morale like really low, and this way it's gonna be a bit easier for them to surrender. But there is a parameter in the game which makes it so if civilian is standing at far distance from you, or I think suspect as well, he's less likely to surrender to you even if his morale is really low. So keep that in mind. This is like, yeah, how morale affects reload. A chance of the suspect to like startle when he sees you, 40%. I don't know, I'll just make it 0, I guess, since I made them raise their guns always. Also the settings for their morale. There is also, you can even affect like how much battering ram damages their morale. And the radius at which it damages their morale. Remember, this is I think, pretty sure it's still centimeters. Morale from beanbag shotgun, all of that. You can even change how their morale changes from suppression. And I think if you do something else with the settings, like do a lot of stuff, you might even make it so that if you suppress the suspect, like if you shoot near him, he just gonna surrender. I'm not sure if it's gonna play well actually, but yeah, you can do that. This is how much you yelling at the suspect is gonna damage his morale. There is also... Oh, yeah. They like to flee from the gas, like run away. If the room is gas, they try to get out of the gas sometimes. And this means that it requires them, I think, 1 second to decide to leave the gas, not sure. Yeah, allowed to consider fleeing gas, yeah. Same about toxic gas. The toxic gas is used in the Tower map or New America. Another kind of map value, stun exposure, reset time. Okay, stun health. Stun damage. So this is, for example, when you hit the suspect with grenade, it deals 100 stun damage. The suspect needs to take 100 stun damage in order to get stunned. That means 1 grenade is enough to stun a suspect. Gas is 15 seconds. I'm not sure. Maybe every 2 seconds or maybe something else. I'm not sure which value depends it, but it has to add up this 15 to each other. So they have to, that means they have to stand in the gas for some time before they get stunned from it. Toxic gas, same thing. Beanbag stuns with 1 shot. Pepper ball, it's 18 stun damage. This is kind of insane, and this makes pepper ball kind of useless. I think we can try to make the stun 90, for example, so it's gonna stun in 2 shots. You can try to test it later if I don't forget it. But basically, yeah, that's how you can make it so it takes 2 shots to stun a suspect from pepper ball instead of million shots. There is also accuracy penalty if the suspect is under 9 banger. Not sure if it works properly, but yeah, you can test it as well. Same for pepper spray. Recovery from pepper spray for accuracy. Gas visibility, accuracy penalty as well. Gas visibility blocking threshold. I'm not sure if it's in centimeters or how it even works. But I think basically this is just like how much the gas is blocking visibility for suspects. Like you can make it so the gas basically makes you invisible if you want to. Recovery from accuracy penalty, not sure from what exactly, from the gas maybe. Min fleece, max fleece, so sometimes suspect can decide to use a behavioral action as a flee. I think he's gonna put his gun to low ready and just run away somewhere. I'm not sure if you change it, it's gonna do anything. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Maybe it will. Maybe it just limits like how much suspect can flee at the time. Probably not sure. You can like increase it if you want. You can try to decrease it if you don't want them to flee. But actually making them stop fleeing at all might require you to do more work than just this one. This one might not work completely. Max traps on a level. This is a global setting, so keep that in mind. Usually on the maps it's different. Max traps pre-placed. So this is just traps that spawn right after like game start, like before the game starts. It's kinda, the game says that suspects can place traps. I never really saw it. I saw an animation of them placing traps, but I didn't see the trap spawning after it, so I'm not sure. Yeah, pre-placed traps near AI spawns, this kind of speaks for itself. The chance that the trap is gonna spawn near where the suspect is spawning. The trap type on a level. Usually each level has its own trap types. Explosive, flashbang, alarm. There is also toxic gas trap type. And there's also laser trap type. I think on the tower there is. I mean, you can just scroll the way down if you want to see that. Trap type, yep. Tower alarm, toxic gas, and explosive. There we go. All right. Max locked doors. So it's like there can be max of 20% of locked doors on the level. Same for open doors percentage. Key cards, I think data center and New America maps have key cards. So yeah, this is something about it. I didn't really test it much, to be honest. Hesitation time means that if the suspect sees you, if the chance of 15% of hesitation is succeeded, he will hesitate to do anything for 5 seconds before he probably raises the gun and shoots you. Unarmed, same for unarmed, 5 seconds. Chance to spawn with no gun, for some reason it's 0%, I'm not sure. There are definitely suspects with no guns on some levels, I think, or maybe I don't remember it correctly. I played on modded AI for way too long, bro. I don't remember. Time to fire a door after kick. Yeah, so there is a random amount of time you can set that the suspect will fire at the door if you kick it, and he's like in front of the door. So that's about it. The cooldowns for push and flank behavior and investigation, these are like different behaviors that you kind of have to test yourself to understand what to do with them. I mean, push and flank, you probably understand what it means. Investigation is usually when the suspect hears a sound and he goes to investigate the source of the sound, I think. This is the nerf for like the accuracy. If the suspect takes a hostage, he's gonna become less accurate. And I guess this means 2 degrees. Maybe it's like plus 2 degrees. Okay, all the same values for SWAT AI. And cover search extent. So that means if the suspect decides to take cover and he starts searching for it, from his position, he's gonna search for 20 meters. Yeah. I think it's 20 meters. So he's gonna search for cover that is within 20 meters from him. We can try to like increase it to some insane value if you want to, but then that means he might take cover on a different end of the map, and he's just gonna run straight to that direction with his gun being on low ready. Cover search exclusion radius around instigator. I think that means that maybe it's better if I take it in paint. So I imagine you made a noise in this area. Like I imagine this is the area we're talking about. Cover search exclusion radius around the instigator. So there is a radius around you, which is this big. And the suspect, hearing this sound, he decides to take cover. Maybe he heard you shooting and he decides to take cover. And this is his radius of searching for cover. It's pretty big. But he's not gonna search for cover in this blue radius because he heard you from there. That's basically what it means. And you can try to use it to kind of fix the issue when the suspect, like in search for cover, he just runs out right in front of you with his gun in low ready and he just gives you easy kill. You can try to play with these two values to kind of set it up. I kind of tried to do that, but I always kept getting them to run around with gun low ready anyway. So yeah, but yeah, you can try to play around with that. Cover landmark, search extent 10 meters. I think it's for when they try to hide in closets, in beds, and things like that. Actually not sure because there is hide action search extent. So I'm not sure what that means then. Cover landmark search extent and hide action search extent. We can just increase all of it. I don't know. Maybe in this video I will try to make them like take cover more often, because I think this is what most people like to see in Ready or Not most of the time. In AI mods, they always want suspects to take more cover. Maybe I will succeed in doing it today, but spoiler, you're probably not gonna like the way it looks. Okay, bone target zones. So player has a skeleton, and the suspect uses this skeleton to choose where to target, like arm, spine. Spine is basically like your torso, like head, etc. Legs, things like that. See, calf left, RE, not sure what it is, but yeah, you can try to customize like the target zones he chooses to target you. This is a rate of how often the suspect is retargeting each bone. He's gonna try to like shoot at your head, then he's gonna try to shoot at your arm, something like that. This is just a value for the map. You can read the comment if you want to. Flashlight perception range, it's the range in centimeters from which the suspect can see your flashlight and react to it. This is a reaction time that takes him to react when he sees the flashlight, and this is the time to forget the flashlight. But it's not like really forget, like he's gonna react, do something, and then he's gonna forget. Don't worry that this time is low, it doesn't need to be high. But actually, I always turn it off completely. I just put flashlight perception on 0 because all it does, it just gives you a way to abuse the game. Basically, you shine a flashlight at the wall, and the suspect behind it sees the flashlight, he screams at it, now you know there's a suspect behind the wall, and sometimes from seeing the flashlight, the suspect can decide to run for cover, and he runs right in front of you, giving you easy kill because he runs in low ready. So yeah, flashlight is kind of an abuse. Maybe I'm gonna try to show it to you once we get into the game. Same for percepting grenades, grenade hurd reaction time, detonate reaction time, forget time, explosion reaction time. All of that is pretty obvious. Distance in centimeters, gunshot hearing range. So by default on global, they can hear gunshot from 20 meters only, which is pretty weird, but okay. All the same. Suicide chance, it's a suicide chance, play dead chance, pretty obvious. I can try to make it 1 and see if it works. This is when the CV is hiding, like in the closet or something, and you or suspect even, and you try to yell at him like, get out of there, get out, and there is a 50% chance he will get out each time you yell. Perpetual cover fire time, I'm not sure what that means, I'm just gonna skip that, never changed it, never tried. The range from which he can hear you kicking a door. Chance to fake surrender when ordered to turn around, pretty obvious what it does. You can order suspect to turn around, right? Yeah, fake surrender chance 80%, that's actually pretty insane. So I think if the suspect is not stunned, right, usually he's gonna be either not surrendering at all, or he's gonna fake surrender. I think this is if he decides to surrender and he is not stunned. At the same time, it's gonna be 80% chance he's just gonna pull out a pistol. Same with knife. Oh, wait, knife fake forward chance. I think I already saw this parameter, didn't I? Yeah, it's right here. Okay, that's weird. It repeats itself. Okay. Alright. Visible SWAT. Percentage that gates suspects from... Okay, so the more SWAT guys the suspect sees at the time he wants to surrender or not, the more you have a chance of him not deciding to fake surrender. So the more SWAT AI guys, SWAT guys, the better, the more players. And each visible SWAT adds 0.2. I never really tried to change it, not sure how it works exactly, but that's interesting. But I think you understand what I meant, like what it does. Visible SWAT percentage that gates suspects from fake surrendering. Yeah, not sure. I'm not sure if it has to be higher or lower, but yeah, you can test it if you want. Chance to flee, chance to start suppressing fire. It's when they take cover and they start just shooting in random direction. Usually, like, actually, this is another thing that I like to turn off because they can just hear you, go to random place, take cover, and start just firing at the wall. Not only they're wasting their ammo, which is not infinite, by the way, they're also just giving away their position and not really making it any harder to kill them when they do that. So yeah. Surrender exit mean time. So when the suspect surrendered, basically you have 20 seconds before he can consider getting up. But I'm not sure. Like, I think if you turn away from him, he might just instantly get up. So yeah, but I usually like to set it on 0 just so you actually have to like look at him the whole time. Chance to play voice line when heard SWAT. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. When they hear you, they might say some bullshit. I usually like to place it on 0, but even if you place it on 0, it doesn't really guarantee that they're not gonna talk. So if you're looking for suspects to stop yapping behind walls, so you just you don't even need mirror gun because everyone is yapping, right? So you can try to set it on 0, but I'm not sure if it's gonna take away all of their like yapping when they hear you. Compliance, yell stress. Okay, this is how much their stress is increasing when you yell for compliance. Suppressed gunshot, like if you're using suppressor, it adds 0.1 stress. If you're using not using suppressor, it adds 0.2 stress. Stress from damage, no quit weapon, pro player ADS, it's whenever you aim at them, they gain stress. Stun stress, this is pretty obvious. This is all pretty obvious. We already talked about stress, right? I'm not sure about this one. I think unauthorized use of force, unauthorized use of deadly force. Not sure what that means. I think this might configure like what penalties you can get for what. Maybe it stops you from getting minus 50 from unauthorized use of force. I'm not actually sure, to be honest. But you can try to play around with that. I think it's something related to that. Spawn groups, I already explained what spawn groups are, and by default in global settings it's false, but usually every map uses spawn groups, so it's just gonna say true in there. So bandages. Yeah, number of bandages player has to stop bleeding. So you can set it so players have limited amount of bandages to stop their bleeding. I think it should just stay by default on -1, which means infinite bandages. Yes, it's realistic that you have limited amount of bandages, but in this game, you're basically 5 guys fighting against 30 guys on some maps, and sometimes, like a lot of times, you can just take cheap damage from out of nowhere. So I think it's just fair if the bandages are unlimited. And now, basically, all the global parameters were kind of explained. Well, some of them I had to skip because I don't know much about them. But then we moved to certain map settings. You already can see the parameters you already know, like starting stress, etc. So you can set up a certain map to have something you want. For example, I'll actually take our search extent and go to agency again. Oh, it already has cover search extent. Let's just increase it to insanely high amount. Let's also try to increase the suspects. Just make it 100. It's gonna basically take up all of the spawns. So after some update, I don't remember when it was, maybe at 1.0 release, but you used to be able to have however many suspects on the map you want, but right now I think you cannot spawn multiple suspects in one spawn point. So how much spawn points preset for suspects the map has, like preset in Unreal Engine, like mapping, that much suspects you can have. So I think for the spider, for agency, for Brixley, it's somewhere around 25 spawns or something like that. But even if you make it 100, it's just gonna take up all the spawns, and basically they're gonna spawn there every single time. So it's gonna be like max possible amount of suspects. Actually, I think New America, I feel like it has more than 100 different spawns, so you can possibly make even more suspects there. This is use spawn groups. I recommend you to just like leave it. Like if the map uses the spawn groups by default, just leave it true. Yeah. And here, if you want to randomize the game even more, have different like scenario each time, you can like change max suspects in different spawn groups from 0 to 99. Basically it means that either no one can spawn in the room, or each spawn can be used and everybody's gonna spawn in the room. I mean, not the whole map, obviously, because the room has limited spawn points. Like it can have like up to 5 maybe, depending on the room. So it's gonna be like either 0 or 5 guys, something like that. It's just that sometimes the rooms don't use all of their spawn points. Like there might be like 10 spawn points in a room, but it uses only 4 of them. Like it can have only 4 guys in there at max, but it's 10 spawn points. So if you want 2 suspects to be like dispersed more randomly around the map, you can do that with the spawn groups. For now, for our case, it doesn't matter. I just set the suspect amount to the max amount possible, so it doesn't matter the spawn group limitations. Actually, maybe it does, because yeah, I think we might actually have to do that, because if all the spawn groups are limiting the suspects from spawn on all the spawns we have, it might be interfering with what we want here, yeah. So again, stress until the weapon raise. I mean, we just changed global starting stress to 100, so it doesn't matter what it says here, I think. We increased cover search extent. There is also fire rate settings here for this map specifically. Just not gonna touch it, I think. Yeah, and well, that's basically it. That's all for the difficulty settings. We can quickly go ahead and like launch the game and test what we've done. So I think the easiest thing we can test is the damage the suspect deal to us, the difficulty name, and also the suspect quantity. We might have changed their behavior as well. Oh, we can also test the pepper ball gun, and yeah, we might also test how they play dead or not. And we might have changed their behavior regarding cover, but I'm not sure, because for them to actually take cover more often, you have to do a bit more work than just increasing these numbers usually, because there are other things in their behavior that you just most of the behavioral settings you cannot change from this file. Like you need uassetgui, you need to edit uasset behavior files to do that. All right, so we saved it and let's go test what we made. Yeah, let's just go single player, quick play, spider. And as you can see, we did change the difficulty name hard 2, and I'm not sure how to do like the description of the difficulty properly, so it just doubled hard 22. So yeah. We just know for sure that the mod works as well. So yeah, let's try to use stingers. Let's also choose a less lethal pepper ball gun. And also let's have some ammo for our pistol to check if they're gonna play dead or not. Just gonna take 5.7. Alrighty. Let's start. Alright, so first thing we're going to test is how well the pepper ball can stun them. As you can see, it's 2 shots. As you can see also, he has a bomb vest. If you remember, we did set them to basically have 100% chance of having a bomb vest. I hit him 2 times, he got stunned. I'm not sure if damage cap worked well, because like even though they might deal only 1 HP damage to me, it also has multipliers if they hit you in the head, etc, etc. So I'm not actually sure what it does right now for us. I mean, it took them pretty long to kill me as well. I did take like a lots of shots, but yeah, you kind of have to like, basically you try to achieve something, you test different stuff, and you see what works and not. Also, the game has pre-built bullet damage types. I'm not sure if they might like override this damage cap or not, or it's the opposite way around. So now we're going to test. Now we're going to test the play dead chance, if it worked or not. But yeah, we have to hit him for that. Okay, the play dead chance doesn't really seem to work, but that's alright. Everything else works. Yeah, as you can see, some of the parameters, like they're not so obvious on how to make them work or not. So you just, yeah, you kind of have to just test it all. But some of it clearly worked, like the vests, the stress, I think as well. And the pepper ball stun worked too. And I think we can also see that it's basically max suspects every time we go to the mission. Like if we enter this building again, it's gonna be like full of them, even though in vanilla it's like 8 to 10. So let's just check it again. Yeah, these guys are always here. All right. So now let's continue further. We did test the config variables. I showed you basically explained almost everything here. Some of it doesn't always work as you want. You have to like, again, test it, try different stuff. We don't have the source code, so it's not always obvious how it works. But yeah, I tried to help as much. In the next section, we're going to try to do something more advanced than just changing this text file. So before we proceed to the next section, I want to recommend you this console unlocker camera mod. This is gonna help you a lot in testing your mods for AI, because you're gonna be able to just press F2, press enable FreeCam, and just fly around the map without having to look at the replay after you did something. So yeah, definitely get that mod for it. And now let's proceed to making some a bit more complex stuff rather than just changing difficulty text files here. So let's go for content blueprints. First off, I wanna raise our player HP so it's just easier to test. We're gonna need it for a bit. And so to change the player HP, you go to content blueprints characters, base player. This is always failing to me to like open like one row of it or something like that, but except this, it works perfectly fine, especially for what I'm about to do. And all I want is literally change player HP. Oh, I already changed it. Sorry, I think I changed it by accident off camera and forgot to go back to vanilla. So in vanilla, you have 160 max resource and resource. You just change it to a bunch of 9s, just so it's easier to test the mods, so you don't have to keep restarting because you die from AI, because you just like want to look at them in person and they shoot you. So yeah, this is gonna make things a lot easier for testing. Well, that's basically all I wanted to do here. There is also a bunch of settings you can try to play with, but we're not gonna touch any of it now. So what I wanted to do right now is to try to change their behavior in a way that they're going to take cover a lot more often. And especially, they're going to take cover whenever they hear an aggressive noise, like a gunshot. So first, we have to look in data tables to decide which archetype to actually look for, just for the testing, because it's going to be a lot easier if we just touch only one map and only one suspect archetype. So to test anything, we only have to change like one file or two. So go to blueprints, data tables, AI, and here is our agency map again. The spider, Brixley, whatever. Let's look at the archetypes of the suspects here. So Brixley has a suspect VIP archetype. we're not gonna really care about Brixley. We're just gonna try to change these three guys here. Agency, suspect, A, B, and C. So they have archetype of suspect professional. This is perfect. You can also try to just straight up change the archetype for something else here. But we're only gonna use suspect professional for the sake of this video on this map. So now we need to find the archetype settings. We close that. Oh, by the way, it's not all of the maps here listed. It's only vanilla and first DLC. If you want to change something in the maps after the first DLC, you go back to the root folder of the mod. You go to plugins, game features, and here are the DLC folders. And here you have the same data tables. Like for example, we open the boat, which is the where the Sahid is. I don't remember, Seralio, something like that. It's the second DLC, Dark Waters, you know, the yacht. And we can see that here they have suspect cowardly archetype, suspect professional again, and suspect non-compliant, which is the oligarch himself, the Sahid. So that's might be a bit of a problem you might want to like consider. Just like realize it, that we're gonna change the archetype of behavior of a certain type of suspect, but it can be used on other maps, so keep that in mind. You can either change you can basically group different archetypes, like change each archetype for the one that suits you. Like for example, here, if you don't want the professional archetype, you can change that by changing this variant over here, -4. See, this is the variant -2. Where do you actually look for these variants? So they are, I think they are imported here in import data. Here they're imported. -2 cowardly and professional is -4, and we can see the confirmation here. So we just pressed here, we write -2, and we have suspect cowardly archetype. But we're not gonna do it yet. We're not gonna change it. We're just gonna leave it suspect professional. We're not gonna change this map. I'm just showing you, just in case you run into a problem where you want to change suspect archetype. Also, you can notice that these are, of course, not nearly all archetypes that are available for you to set up in the game. Only 3 of them for suspects. You can import more archetypes or like other data in one uasset file, and I'll show you how to do it later. I'm also a bit new to this, so I'm probably gonna it's gonna take a while for me. I hope it works just fine. But we're gonna use imports for changing suspect behavior. More on that later. So we want to change suspect professional archetype for the spider map. We go to content, blueprints, AI, and archetypes, core. And here we found it, suspect professional. Open it with uasset. Scroll all the way down. Suspect professional. Here we have combat actions, suspicious, and alert actions. Yeah, so these are the actions the suspect might do. For example, like for combat, he might duel. I'm not sure what it is. I didn't really test it. But supposedly it's something about like whatever the suspect does when he shoots one guy. Flee, like run away. Here each action has a data. You can kind of try to set up the action, but we're not gonna do it here because it is a preset, which means we can actually, instead of changing it right here, we can change it in the preset for all the other archetypes too, which I'm probably gonna do because I'm not sure actually how the presets work here. Like if it's a preset, if I change it here, will it change anything actually or not? Or it's just for the import and it's not actually really changeable? I'm not sure. So we're just gonna change the preset instead. But you can try to change it over here. I don't know. You have to like test it a lot. The thing about changing all of these uasset behavior files for suspects, it's hard. It's really hard to predict what is gonna work and what not. And we don't have the source code, so we don't really like exactly know how the things work. So the best you can do is just try to change something, experiment, and just try to achieve what you want. So what we want right now is we want to try to make them take cover more often and more likely. So what actions do they have in combat move? They have hard cover. What else they have for cover? Fall back to cover. Pre-combat cover. And that's it. So let's take these combat move actions, and just to make them happen more likely, we're also gonna move them to alert and suspicious actions. So whenever the suspect is alert or he's suspicious, he might also do this action, which is like go for cover. So hard cover, it's 3. The row 3, we move here, 3. We're gonna copy it and place it here in suspicious actions first. Just rename it to 6 here. It's just in case someone doesn't know it, I'm gonna explain. Like you press here on the string, you press Ctrl C, then you go for the other table you'd like to paste it in, and you press it on the empty space and press Ctrl V, and there you go. But I'm pretty sure it's not here yet. Oh, it's already here. Okay. We didn't even have to recalculate nodes for it. Just in case you... Wait. I'm gonna paste it in alert actions too. Oh, now it's not here, then we... Yeah. Okay. So sometimes when you paste the new entry in the table in uasset files, the UI does not fully update, so we don't actually see it here on the bottom. It's still only lower gun. There is no hard cover we pasted. So what we have to do, we have to press view, recalculate nodes, then we have to re-expand. We're gonna re-expand alert actions, and see, it's right there, hard cover. All right. So let's copy the rest. Fall back to cover 8. Go for 8 here, copy. Paste in suspicious actions. Rename it to 7. Paste it in alert actions. Rename it to 25. Recalculate just to check if it's pasted or not. It is right there. Great. So there is one last thing we need to copy, which is pre-combat cover 10. All right. So we did that. This increases the chance just for a bit, but I think it's not enough. It's not nearly enough to actually make them do it more often. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna change the presets themselves. We can close this for now and go for AI, action presets, and let's start with cover pre-combat. So how does it actually work? Like, how do you change the settings of the action? What does what do? So an action can be interrupted by commit interrupts over here. And here we can see that cover pre-combat action can be interrupted by flanking. If the suspect decides to flank, he can interrupt it. We can leave it like that, but we can also try to remove it from here so it doesn't have any commit interrupts. I guess you can just try to set E0 to true. Maybe it's gonna disable it. I'm not sure, I didn't test it. So just in case, just for the sake of this video, to try to waste less time, I'm gonna do what I'm sure, like kinda sure works, and I'm just gonna remove it. So the flank will not interrupt a cover pre-combat move. But always be careful with that. Sometimes if you like change too much in the behavior, which you like don't really know how it works or what, the game might just crash whenever a behavior like action is triggered. So yeah, be aware of it. Like what I did just right now, I didn't really do before, so I just hope it doesn't crash when it happens. So also, the action has, let's start with considerations. Actually, it has considerations. So considerations for an action is conditions, like at least one of them has to be met for suspects to even consider of the possibility of committing the action. For example, let's check the first consideration, type 2. Type 2 here means it's expert 2, exposure. So my guess is exposure means how much the suspect feels exposed or whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure how much it affects it, but let's actually try another one because it's hard to talk about exposure thing. What else do they have here? Distance to target. Yeah, these are like variables the suspect analyzes before like deciding to commit an action or not to commit an action. 5, visible SWAT. All right. So if the suspect sees SWAT, it might be a possible consideration for him to consider taking cover pre-combat. So all of these considerations, they can even, I think they can, yeah, they can work all at the same time. They all have different weight, which I'm not sure how it's like exactly it's calculated or how it adds up. But basically, the more weight an action or consideration has, the more likely it is to affect like what the suspect decides to do. Because in the end of the day, the suspect is gonna do the action which with the most weight calculated, but it also needs to meet a certain conditions which we're gonna talk about later. For now, to increase the probability of the suspect taking cover pre-combat, we're just gonna increase the weight to 30 everywhere. Of course, if you want to like if you actually like try hard like making a mod and you want like a certain behavior with certain logic, obviously you want to try to like experiment a lot more with it and like consider different weights and like considerations, stuff like that. I set up it more carefully than I do right now. Just for the sake of this video, not to be too long, I'm just gonna kind of explain the basics, how I understand them, and try to show you something that kind of works. So hopefully after that you can play with their behavior too, instead of just changing this one text file, which like does almost nothing basically. So like especially when you want them to take cover more often, with just one text file, you're not gonna really gonna achieve anything because you're not changing like the actual behavior logic. So we increase the weights here. We're also gonna increase the weight of an action itself. My guess is if the suspect in the end of his decision has like 2 or more actions which have the same weight, I'm not sure the way he's gonna decide what to do, but this action has the most weight right now, so hopefully it's gonna increase the probability of it happening. So now let's touch the gates section, because the gates are kind of confusing sometimes. So what are the gates? The gates are conditions that the environment or the suspect has to meet when they analyze it. These conditions are like they have to be met in order for the action to be even possible to consider. For example, let's just go one by one. We see it has the first gate. It has a type of 7. 7 export 7 has ever shot. And be not here for true. What does all three facts mean? If the suspect has ever shot at least once, he's not going to be able to take a pre-combat cover action. That's it. Like, that's it. Gate closed, and no matter the considerations, no matter the weight, just because he shot at least once, he cannot do the action no more. At least for quite some time, I guess. Not sure. It actually depends on how like this particular gate is coded, but whatever. So, what is B not? Currently, B not means if has ever shot condition is met. So if has ever shot is true, then he cannot consider the action. If B not was false, then it would mean that has ever shot condition would have to be true in order to the suspect to even consider doing the action for it to be possible. For example, let's go here, 9. Type 9 is a valid target, and B not is false here. What does it mean? There has to be a valid target, like a SWAT guy or maybe a civvy, I'm not sure. He's probably not gonna take cover from a civvy, but whatever. So there has to be a valid target for a suspect to consider taking a pre-combat cover. That's what it means. If B not was true, that would mean that if there was a valid target, then the suspect will not be able to consider even doing the cover pre-combat action. So I hope that's clear now. Because it's a bit confusing because it says B not and then like false and true, and then it's like the opposite, and it's actually also a gate which has to like prevent the action from happening. So sometimes even I get it mixed up. But alright, so what we want to do here with these gates, if we want the action to be more likely to happen, we just want to have as less like required conditions as possible. So ideally, it will be just to remove all of the gates altogether. But let's actually look at them. So what is 8? Target facing me, whatever. What is 10? Weapon raised. Again, like for valid target and target facing me, you have to understand that these gates are added probably for a reason, and if you remove them or like do whatever with them, you might get unexpected behavior. So you always want to like test it a lot. But just for the sake of this video, we're just gonna make suspects take cover as much as possible, no matter the odds. So I think I'm gonna remove basically almost all of the gates. What about 10? Weapon raised. So he has to raise his gun first, like from high stress, to even consider taking pre-combat cover, I guess. That's what it says. And 6, what is 6? Has equipped weapon. He has to have a weapon to be equipped to doing pre-combat cover. So I think I'm just gonna remove all the gates except one last. So we're gonna go here in the gates table. This last we do not touch, and we just press on the string here, press delete on our keyboard, delete, 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 Control S for save. All right, we saved it. It didn't update the UI. This here it says we have only one gate, but here we have 5 rows, so we click view, recalculate nodes, re-expand it again, and we have only one gate this time, which is 6, so it's correct. So let's do basically the same stuff for other 2 actions that we added to different alert states of the suspects in suspect professional archetype. So this one is fallback to cover. This is the second one we have to change. Let's go for considerations. Doesn't matter what are those. Change everything, weight to 30. Just to show you what we can do. And the action itself, weight 30. And the gates. So 9, valid target, delete. 8, recently saw character, delete. 6, is in cover. This one actually I'm scared to delete. So basically it means if the suspect is already in cover, he cannot fall back to cover, which is fully understandable, and I'm kind of afraid if I remove this gate and he tries to fall back to cover while he is in cover, the game is just gonna crash, so I'm just gonna leave this gate unremoved. 4, equipped weapon has 0 mags. If it has 0 mags, he cannot fall back to cover. Interesting. 5, has equipped weapon. And 7, squad running activity. Oh yeah, the squads are like when you see the suspects group up, for example, and like push you all together. Sometimes it happens on some maps. I guess it's about this one. So yeah, we're not gonna touch it either. We're only gonna delete. Yeah, we're only gonna delete first 2 gates, which is gonna make them fall back to cover more often because we have less conditions to meet. All right, this one is done. Let's go to the third final action, which is hard cover. And we're gonna do the same thing. Considerations. Just raise all of that to 30. There is quite a lot of commit interrupts here. I think I'm not gonna touch them. I mean, they have to be able to stand up from the cover, right? Okay, gates. Yeah, wait, action, wait, 30, all right. Gates, what gates does it have? 13, valid target, delete. Recently seen target, remove it. 10, equipped weapon has 0 mags. I mean, sure, doesn't matter. Equipped weapon, and equipped weapon has max. Alright, so we're gonna remove first 2 again. Save it and close it. Now, what I also would like to see them do, I would like to see them take cover pre-combat whenever they hear an aggressive noise. But for that, the aggressive noise has to be a consideration for them to take cover, which I believe is not here. If we look here, it's distance to target, exposure, number of nearby suspects, type perform combat move, visible SWAT, and that's it. Everything else are gate. So AG is a gate, AC is a consideration. So what we can do here is we can import this consideration and use it in this file. Yeah, this might be kind of complex to do. I actually haven't done it like a lot of times, and it's always pretty hard. You have to be very careful when you do that. There is a guide on how to do it over here. You go to getting started with uassetgui in unofficial modding guide. Here is the adding data page. Read through that very carefully. It has really useful info in it. So I'm going to take some file which has this consideration. So it's easier to copy from one file to another. Let's just open investigate. I think this is whenever the suspect like hears a noise and like goes to investigate the source of the sound, like Volk's right there. And we have it right here, consideration exposed to aggressive noise. And we want to move it to this file over here, cover pre-combat. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to import data. See the imports here. We have first exposed to aggressive noise, default AC exposed to aggressive noise C. We copy it, Control C. We go in this file, import data, go all the way down, press on this string, Control V to paste it. All right, and we're gonna paste a couple of other things. We're gonna paste this AC exposed to aggressive noise C. And one final thing we have to paste here is this one. Game blueprints AI considerations AC exposed to aggressive noise. There we go. Now Control S to save it. You see it calculated the number for it, like the index, the outer index. So you can notice that in the original file, this had the outer index of 0, and these two have the outer index of -20, which is equal to index of -20 here, which is the same consideration. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to do the same here. We can see that here its index is -36. So the outer index of these two has to be -36 as well. All right, go ahead and save it. You can also see it in other stuff. For example, let's look at distance to target consideration. Outer index -24, go to -24, game blueprints, AI considerations, distance to target. And which itself has outer index of 0. All right, so we did that. Also, let's check if it got added in the name map. And it did. All three names are added here in the name map. All that is kind of left to do is paste it in the export information. So it's going to be shown in export data here, which we can use just as we use distance to target, exposure, and everything else. So we go to export information here, take exposed to aggressive noise, copy it, and paste it here in export information, just below all of that. So now look, I want you to look at this. For example, let's look in this file. So exposed to aggressive noise. Where was it? Yeah, here. We can see that it's like default AC exposed to aggressive noise C, index is -2, and exposed to aggressive noise C is -11. Now look in export information. Exposed to aggressive noise C, class index -11 and template index -2. This is important. This means that we have to do the same stuff here. So here, it's going to be -35 and -34. And it didn't save it because I quit the thing. So we're just gonna copy and paste it again. This one is -35 and this one is -34. All right. Also, look at this. This AP cover pre-combat, which is the whole action. Oh, fuck. Sorry, that was an accident. Oh, it's still here. Never mind. Okay, good. So, which is an action we set up and choose considerations and gates for it, right? Right here in export information and here in export data. You can see it has a number like index of 11. And you can see that these gates and considerations have in outer index of 11 and cover pre-combat has outer index of 0. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to change the outer index to 11 too, here. I'm not gonna try to explain like why exactly we do it like this. It is explained kind of in the guide I shown you, like unofficial modding guide. I'm just not gonna even try to waste time on it, especially when I do not fully understand it myself. So that's just what you have to do when you import stuff. You want to look how it's done, like, and like try to kind of mimic it and copy it. But some knowledge you can get from like the guides and also from people in modding Discord. Yeah, don't afraid to ask questions there too. Someone might actually help you with that. So let's try to save it now. And we have a problem. It says it's failed to find a valid schema for parent name AC exposed to aggressive noise C. That means we fucked something up in our imports, but how do we know that when it seems that we did everything perfectly? Well, that's when the JSON file editing will come in handy. Let's click File, Save As. Find where is it? Where is cover pre-combat? I cannot find it. Oh, it's right here. It's on the top. All right. Never mind. So we choose it. Keep in mind it has to be like the same way. Like we're gonna save it literally in the same place because it's just more comfy, you know. So choose this so it has the same name. Then in the file type, choose JSON. Click Save. Minimize it for now. Minimize this one for now. Go for the newly created JSON file. Edit with Notepad++. Update JSON viewer. Oh yeah, JSON viewer. So for you, it's probably only gonna look like that. And these JSON files, which are like originally uasset files, you just convert them like to JSON to read them and see more code and like change it more deeply. It's pretty hard to traverse them. It's a lot of stuff here. So I really suggest you to get a JSON viewer plugin. I'm gonna show it to you right now. It's right over here on GitHub, npp JSON viewer. You can use other like JSON formatting tools. It's just one of them. It's just the one that I use and I recommend it. So you just go to releases here. and you just download, like for example, maybe this one or all zip, doesn't matter. It's just gonna have like one DLL, I think. And here in the README, you can see the instructions on how to install it. You just copy DLL into a certain folder in your Notepad++ folder. If you struggle to find Notepad++ folder, you can try to search it in your start menu. Right click, open file location. Then right click again, open file location. And here it is in my program files. So then you go to plugins and there is going to be like a folder. I mean, you can create it or it's going to be in the archive. I don't remember. You just paste the DLL here. So it looks like that. All right. That's that. So then you restart Notepad. You go to plugins, JSON viewer, show JSON viewer. And here we go. Then it's a lot easier to do stuff here. So what we want to do right now, we want to press here refresh JSON3, so it actually reads this one, this file. So I think we fucked up in exports. So expand exports here, which is the same exports that are here, like export information, export data. So we expand exports, we go to the last row we added, which is exposed to aggressive noise, of course. Of course it is. We can, by the way, we can see it doesn't have any data inside of it, which is going to be an issue a bit later, but we're going to fix it, don't worry. So we can see that a class index and template index are already correct. But here, if you remember, -11 and -2, these are original values of class index and template index of this consideration in the investigate file we copied it from. So let's also change it to -35 and -34. Keep in mind, it is very important to pay attention to JSON formatting rules. Like you see these brackets, these dots, and all that stuff. Like it has to be correct, otherwise your file is just not gonna open after you save it. So let's save it. And now let's go here on this button, validate JSON to detect any errors. Click it. It says that everything is correct. That means we can start editing. So what we do now is we open our JSON file, this time not with Notepad, just double click it if you already set up the uassetgui as a application, default application for uasset files, or just like right click, open with, and like uassetgui, I'm just gonna double click, open it. And what it does, it kind of opens it as a uasset file, but we already have the same uasset file, like with the same name. So it shows us with this symbol that it's an unsaved file yet. So let's check for our changes. We still have the import data correct. We have the name map, and go for export information. This is still correct as well. Let's go over here. Exposed to aggressive noise. Here we can see it has no data inside of it, which is going to be a problem. We're going to fix it later. So now that we've fixed these two values in JSON file, let's try to save it on Control S. And it does save. Perfect. Now let's just close this one without saving. This is the old file we were opening, the same uasset file actually. But now we're changing this one. So what we want to do is we want to copy the data from here, all of these settings for consideration of being exposed to aggressive noise. So just open that. Curve, we don't need that. This is like the way the weight and stuff is calculated. for consideration. I don't really know much about it. We're not gonna change much in here. So just choose the first row, hold shift, choose the last row, Control C, go to the other file, paste it like this right here, Control V, Control S to save. Let's also change the max distance to something insane, so it's just more likely to happen that they hear it and etc. Now we have to add it in here as an actual consideration, because if you remember, we only have 5 default considerations here, which are pre-imported before us. And now that we imported the new one, we have to add it here as well. So here, let's just copy one row and paste, change its name to 5, recalculate nodes. Expand this one again, considerations, go for the last row. Let's check how it looks like in here. Go to investigate, action, considerations. Type 2 is export 2, exposed to aggressive noise, exactly what we need. So let's compare these two. And the scoring method is different for it. So let's change it here too, from subtractive to additive. All right. The variant is 4, which is not 4. For us, here it's 12 because it's export number 12. All right, that's saved. And the weight is 30 again. Okay, cool. Now, what we actually did, I just want to try to remind you that what we've been doing. So we added a new possible consideration for cover pre-combat action to happen. So now, supposedly, like, we cannot really guarantee it. We don't have the source code. We don't know how exactly stuff works. We can't even guarantee that the game is not gonna crash right on the startup from this mod. So yeah, I have to test everything. But supposedly, what we did is we added a new consideration, and now whenever they hear a gunshot or something like that, like an aggressive noise, they might consider to take cover. And with everything else that we did before, supposedly it should have really increased the chance of them taking cover pre-combat. So let's finally go and test it in the game. So just pack the mod again like that. I already have a camera mod here and place it right here, the mod itself. Check if, all right, yeah. Launch the game. Let's see if the game crashes. I hope not. Right, let me make sure it records the game. Yes, it does. Okay, great. The game did not crash on startup, which is already very good. It means we didn't fuck up our imports. So let's go ahead and test the behavior. Yep. Sorry, I kind of got lost in there. Let's switch 2 doors in here. Wedge this one. And wedge the other one. So it's just more comfortable to test. Because we're gonna be basically AFKing with free cam. Alright. So press F2, debug camera. And on WASD, spacebar and shift, we can go around. If we want to quit the camera, we press F2, again, debug camera. If you press this one by accident, you can just like, I don't know why this function is there, but you can like expand it and back and forth. But never mind, so let's fly inside of here and let's shoot and see what happens. Already have one guy taking cover. Doesn't mean much. Oh, this guy takes cover as well. They kinda get interrupted by everything. What is this guy gonna do? Just walk around? Yeah, these two guys taking pre-combat cover here and here. Others, not so much. Now let's go ahead and just try to play the map. That's pretty funny, he doesn't even see me from here. Let's actually see what's going on the map. Oh! Alright. What about this guy? What is he doing? He just pushing me? Okay. What about the other guys? Well, these ones are just kind of walking around. This guy got tired of sitting on cover. I think I know what else we might want to change to make it even more likely. So let's actually go right now and try to change it. So what we're gonna try to change is make it so the whole map hears us. And maybe it's gonna be more likely that they decide to try to hide in cover. So let's go for... now let's go for... Actually first... Let's do the same thing we did for pre-combat cover, but for other files, other two. Which is, for example, fallback to cover. Which is right here. Great. This one also does not have exposed to aggressive noise gate. So we're gonna have to copy it from the investigate one too. So let's just do that. Actually, it's gonna be more comfortable to copy from pre-combat because everything is gonna be like on the bottom. So yeah, just take this, paste it in import data over here, save. It's minus 34 in here, so minus 34, minus 34. Great. All right, now check the name map. It has the new stuff. Go for export info. So let's remember it's minus 34 and it's minus 33, minus 32. Okay, good. This one has to be 10 in here. So it's minus 33, minus 32. All right. Save. Same problem. Save as. Pull back to cover, JSON. Open with Notepad. Update. Go for exports. The last one. Exposed to aggressive noise. Wait, should it be minus 33, minus 33? I think I fucked something up. Wait. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, wait, close this. This has to be minus 32. Yep. Let's check in import data. Minus 33, minus 32. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, now it's correct. Save as. JSON. Pull back to cover. Replace. Open it again. Update. Go for exports. Here. Exposed to aggressive noise. Now it's correct. I just wanted to make sure. So this one has to be also minus 33, minus 32. Save it. Now go here. Check it out. It's right here. No data. Go for export info. Everything's fine. Saved correctly this time. Pull back to cover. This one we close. This one we change. Go for export data in cover pre-combat. Go here. Copy all this. Paste right here. Everything's fine. Everything's perfect. Now go for here. Considerations. We have 3. Doesn't matter. Copy one of them. Paste like this. 3. Type 11. Additive. Great. Great. Yeah, I believe it's all correct. Let's go ahead and just try to launch the game to make sure we imported everything correctly. Nice. Okay, that's all what I wanted to do. Now we have to take care of the other file, which is hardcover. So we can close full back to cover, and we need cover pre-combat again to copy from. So open hardcover. Again, import data, open cover pre-compat, go for import data, these 3 rows, copy, paste like this, save, minus 45, all right, minus 45, minus 45, minus 44, minus 43, remember that. -14, minus 34, minus 33, does not save. Import data, minus 44, minus 43, my bad. There, all right. Save as hardcover, JSON, save, refresh, open notepad, update, JSON viewer, exports, last row, exposed to aggressive noise, minus 44, minus 43, minus 44, minus 43, save, check again. Saves correctly, great. Close the old one. Copy the contents of consideration in here. Great. Go for hardcover itself. Considerations. Just copy one of them. Paste. 8. Recalculate. Reopen everything. Go for the last one. Should be additive. Okay, good. Now, real quick, we're gonna test it one more time. If we did everything correctly, the game should launch to the main menu. Great. Alt F4, because there is something else I wanted to change as well. So you noticed how we made max distance of hearing aggressive noise all nines, but it might have actually did not matter. Because even though even the gunshot hearing range, I think we also set it for something insane. Let's check. Gunshot hearing range. Yeah, we set it to insane number. And this is just for New America, the tower. So on agency, it should use this value. And this is an insane number. So they should be able to hear gunshots, but not really actually. Because when you go to content, blueprints, characters, AI, new, cybernetics controller, you see that in hearing config right here. Oh wait, I actually did change it already. So by default it was 1500, which is 15 meters, but it seems like it's already like this. What we can also try to do then is close this one. Go to blueprints, AI, considerations, exposed to aggressive noise. Maybe we have to change something here. It has a max distance of 15 meters. Let's just paste an insane number in here. Hopefully it will help. Again, I cannot guarantee shit. I'm just trying to achieve what I want to achieve. And just for the sake of this video, we simply trying to make them take cover more often. No thought process behind it. We just want to see them take cover. Just so we know we can change stuff, right? So, yeah, I'm not sure if I was supposed to close it. Oh, whatever. So, yeah, let's go for it again. Let's try to test it now. We should have increased the probability now. What we can also do to increase the probability of them taking cover is to remove other actions like roaming, like fleeing, all of that stuff, but we're not gonna do it just yet. I just need to see visible results of what we've done here, so we can proceed to the next part of the guide, which I'm not sure if it's gonna be one. I think there's a couple of more stuff I can show you, yeah.
Christ, it's really taking off out there.
Is it actually working? Yeah, it does. Okay, great. Go for the spider. R2. Let's close that shit. Budget.
And they're refusing to cooperate. Entry team, you are go to move and clear.
Oh, wedge this door too. Oh my god. Okay. Great. Go ahead and shoot once. See what happens. Alright, 2 guys to cover immediately. 3 guys, 4 guys. 5 guys. Okay. Yeah, this guy's fucking retarded. Don't mind him. This guy. This guy. I mean, it's wrong direction, but whatever. Yeah, you can definitely see the effects of our editing. Look. I'm not sure for how long they're gonna be able to sustain this pose. What about these guys? Even this guy took cover. So the hearing range increase might have helped. I'm not sure actually. It definitely helped that we changed all 3 actions this time instead of just 1. So yeah, you can clearly see how it works. Let's actually try to open the door. I wonder if they're gonna even see me like that. Oh my god, they're like all shooting at me from there. Yeah, this is kind of hilarious. And now they just all decide to leave their cover, take it again. Which looks a bit weird, but whatever. So yeah, now you know how to edit JSON files, how to edit their behavior. Let's actually try to do one more thing with behavior. Let's try to make them stop, like stop them from surrendering. Why not? Yeah, let's do one more thing. Okay. So we wanna disable suspect professional archetype from surrendering. Let's go for archetypes. I think it's gonna be a bit easier, and I'm just gonna do it like very simply. So go for suspect professional archetype, alert actions. What does it have here? Okay, lower gun, hesitate, scared. I think it's kind of a part of them surrendering, like the standing surrender when they slowly drop their gun or something like that. Maybe not. So we're just gonna remove all of that and surrender too. So let's try to remember. We have to remove 23, 22, 11, 10. Three. Also, it's better to like so what I did just now, I just literally removed these actions from alert actions, so they're like clearly not possible to do. We could have tried to make like E0 true. I haven't really tried it, so just for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna simply remove these actions completely to make them impossible. Impossible to commit. Also, when you do remove like a certain actions, it's if you remove multiple of them, it's better to start from below because once you remove a row here, it's gonna instantly resort all the rows below it and reassign the numbers. So you're just gonna forget what you wanted to remove. So that's why I was removing from below. So save it. Only 22 actions now. Let's go for an alert. It doesn't have any surrendering actions. Suspicious actions. Doesn't have anything either. Combat actions. Doesn't have anything surrender related. Okay. Let's just try to go with that. Oh yeah. Also, I mean, yeah, you remember we did not change anything regardless their morale and stuff like that, so don't worry about it. So let's just pack in and try to make them surrender with flashes. A spider, let's go.
Entry team, this is Talk. Suspects have a foothold in this area and they're refusing to cooperate. Entry team, you are go to move and clear.
Police, get on the ground! Drop the gun! Gun! What you... Fuck, show me your hands! Police, don't move! We're here to take you in! Hands up! Police, drop the gun! Hands up!
As you can see, this one did not surrender. I hope they don't kill me. Okay, we stunned this guy. As you can see, he does not surrender too. So, this worked too. We stopped them from surrendering, but at the same time, they still get stunned from flashes. Alright. So what else? What else I can show you? Oh yeah, let's show you what we can do also with items. Since we actually added bomb vests, we can try to make it so the bomb vests work a bit differently. So if you remember, in vanilla, whenever you kill a civilian, even in the head, or you hit his vest, they explode no matter what. But the suspects, the only way for the suspect bomb vest to explode is if the suspect pulls the detonator, the string, or whatever that is. And if we go for explosive vest files for the suspects, which is blueprints, items, armor, suspects, go for civilian explosive vest first. Go to default civilian explosive vest over here, expand this one. We can see first two parameters. Should explode on hit, true. And should explode on death, true. This is retarded. I mean, not really. It's just like a gameplay gimmick, kind of, but we're gonna try to make it more logical. We're gonna set it to false, so civilian explosive vests only explodes on hit. There is also a problem with like the hitbox of the explosive vests. It's a bit rough. Like sometimes even if you hit like the lower part of the neck, it might register as if you hit the fucking vest. So be careful with that. But other than that, now if you headshot a civvy, he's not gonna explode, and I'm gonna show it to you later. Let's actually close the other behavior files we opened earlier. We don't need them no more. Now let's take a look at suspect explosive vest. And here we can see that it doesn't have these parameters at all. It starts with explosion damage type. It doesn't have the parameters for if it should explode on hit or death, because it never does. So what can we do to add them? Again, we have to use JSON. I'm gonna copy this path to the files, so it's more comfortable whenever I save civilian explosive vest, save as, just paste it right here. Okay, now we're in the same folder. Choose civilian explosive vest, JSON, save. Now suspect explosive vest, do the same. Save as JSON, yes. Okay, good. Now open both files in JSON. Close this, we don't need that anymore. Okay, so go for civilian explosive vest and let's try to find, okay, let's refresh this one. Let's try to find these parameters. I think it was should explode. So just press Ctrl F. Should explode. And just go with that. Okay, should explode on hit. Should explode on death. Great. Let's try to find the same place in suspect explosive vest. How do we do that? Remember that suspect explosive vest also has this parameter, explosion damage type. Let's just copy it like this and search for it. Okay, it doesn't really work like that. Let's try to copy only one row. Okay, there it is. There it is. Now copy these two sections, should explode on hit and should explode on death, just in case we need both of them. Go for this file and just paste them the same way they were in civilian explosive vest. Okay, let's check if we did everything correctly. We did. Great. So for the suspects, I guess we want the same conditions. Should explode on hit, true. And should explode on death, false. Okay, we save it. Then we open suspect explosive vest, because this is the one we want to change. Check for export data, check in default suspect explosive vest. And now you can see that it has these new two parameters and they're already set up the way we want. So the only other thing I'm gonna change here is damage on detonation to 1 and the radius as well. Just why not? Just for the video. There is also a radius when your screen should shake, I suppose. Let's try to make it insane. So our screen is going to shake whenever we explode a bomb vest. So now let's go ahead and test if it works on the map. I didn't forget to paste it, right? Yeah, I didn't. Okay, good.
Lead, this is talk. Suspects have a foothold
Okay, let's
in this
check it
area,
out.
and they're refusing to cooperate.
There is a civilian with explosive vest over here, and if we shoot him in the head, he does not explode.
Within your ROE.
Now let's try to explode a suspect. And you can see that it's working. Now if we shoot in the head, he does not explode. So this works. So now, what else can I show you? I kind of realized I forgot to show you how to... I mean, I kind of did. I didn't really show you the way you can create custom difficulties for your mod, so let's quickly change that. You just copy the difficulty, you rename the file just for your own good. Hard difficulty 3, I don't know. Redact in Notepad, rename it as you want. In here. And I mean, that's kind of it. That's kind of enough. Let's also check. I want to remember how I did it with the other mod. Config difficulties. Let's go for like this one, which is like the full custom difficulty. Okay, so we can change pretty much everything. Great. That's just great. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah, we can also change the gameplay tag too. I think what it's gonna do is it's also gonna change the way the difficulty shows in like in-game menu, simple mod menu, simple blueprint mod menu, or whatever it's called. I don't remember. I can try to show it to you right now. It's somewhere in my files in the game. It's this tree. Okay, so let's go back in our mod. We added a new difficulty, kind of. Let's try to pack the file in. Copy, replace. All right. The new mods are here. Launch the game. So first you can see that when we create a friends only lobby, we have this new difficulty pop up. So we have 4 difficulties now. And it has whatever the shit we wrote in there. And also if we go for SMM, simple mod menu, here if we choose difficulty, we actually have the new difficulty as well, hard. So yeah, you can play around with that and have multiple custom difficulties too. Okay. Next. I guess I can show you like a couple of more things. Let's go to content, ready or not, animations, revise, third person view, AI shared suspects, rifle, turns. So, you know, there sometimes might be a problem with AI like turning way too slow on you. Like they aim wrong direction and you peek out on them and they like slowly turn to you and it kind of messes up with the reaction time because whatever reaction time you set to them, it doesn't really matter because it takes them 2 years to turn towards you, but sometimes it actually happens instantly. It can depend on different settings, but there's a couple of settings I can show you and you can try to change them and maybe it will work for you. So here is the animations for some of the turns. I'm pretty sure I didn't find all of them, but what kind of worked for me is just put the rate scale here to 0 and it kind of skips the turn animation, which is exactly what I wanted because I wanted to. So the way I wanted it to work is that no matter where the suspect looks, his reaction time is going to be about the same. So I try to skip the turn animation if he's not pre-aiming at you. That's what I try to do, and one way to try to do that, like increase the chance of it, is put the rate scale to 0. I never actually succeeded to fully make it instantly happen, but it does happen more often now. You can also go to blueprints, characters, AI. I think it's cybernetic suspect v2. And go for care move component here. And here is the rotation rate. You can also try to change the values here. Personally, I put them to like 100 or something. And I think it kind of worked, but not really. But I think it also increased like the chance of it happening. You see, that's the problem. We like sometimes you never know what works and what not, and you have to test it a lot of times. But yeah, you can also, I think, pretty sure you can try to change something else here. I don't quite remember. I think in the other file here, cybernetics controller, you can try to change the FOV of the suspect here, like peripheral vision. I'm not sure if it worked at all or not. I feel like it did, because like when I was playing, when I changed this to like 360, they did actually rotate like from all the way and were seeing you most of the time if I want them to. So yeah, you can try to change it as well if you want. There is also hearing config. I already changed it to a bunch of nines just for the sake of this video. Again, it's kind of stupid to do that. Never do that for like actual mods. Try to calculate what you need. So what else we can try to do? I think there is one last thing I wanted to try to show you. Data tables, go for AI agency. Here, I'm just gonna try to show you a bit of what else we have in these sections over here. Specifically, you already know about weapon loadouts. Oh yeah, actually, if you want like different weapons, usually all the weapons, I think they are imported by default. So you can just try to place the correct weapon name, but it has to be the correct path as well. So if you just go for this path in like F model, you can try to find a bunch of weapons here and find which weapon you want the suspects to use. I just remember that we can use, for example, weapon suspects, primary, AKM. And here we can change it to primary AKMC. Why did I mention AKM specifically and why did I remember it so quickly? It's because in the mod I play with, usually I just make all of the suspects use AKMs. Why? Well, first, it's because it's this way it's like if every suspect has the same gun, gameplay wise, it's just easier to balance the time to kill. And also, even more important thing, it's been a year already since the console update. I think it was the console update, right? A year ago. I think, yeah. And even after Boiling Point update, the devs still did not fix the bug where the suspects shoot you once and they stop shooting and then they continue to shoot after like a second of staring at you. I'm gonna try to paste like a footage, an example footage of it as I'm talking about it, so you see what I mean. You can also test it yourself, just like launch vanilla ready or not, go to like, for example, the spider map, it happens pretty often in there, and just let the suspects shoot you and just see what happens. And it's a big problem because even if the suspect like comes behind you, he's gonna shoot you like once, probably miss, because it's just literally one shot, or he's gonna deal you very little damage, and then he's gonna give you like a second to react and turn around, and you're just gonna kill him. So yeah. And for some weird reason, AKM and Uzi do not have this bug. I don't know why. I found it by accident, but yeah, if you give them AKMs and Uzis for some reason, they still do have this bug, but like a lot less often. It almost never happens. Also, I'm just gonna go for primary ammo type null here. They still gonna have a certain ammo type. It's just not gonna be specified here, if I remember correctly. All right. Next, I think the last thing I wanted to show you here is random character mesh. So random character mesh section is about when the suspect spawns in. For example, here it has 3 rows, 3 entries. It means whatever spawn is set to spawn in the suspect agent A is gonna have 3 options of character mesh it can spawn. Basically, like the skin and like the sounds he makes and stuff like that. Maybe something about animations and movement styles too. So it's either of 3. It's either agency suspect 02, here's like the body, head, all of that, parts of his skin. And they can, so there is 3 options he can look like whenever he spawns in. What we can try to do here is we can make him have a chance, or just completely replace it, but we can make it have a we can make him have a chance of spawning as another guy. So let's try to do that. What it's gonna give us, it's there is gonna be a chance that a suspect spawns in with civilian skin and civilian voice lines. So to realize it's a suspect, you have to look at the gun itself, which is pretty cool, I think. So what we have to do for that, let's try to do it without JSON files for now. And then if it doesn't work out, we're gonna have to move to JSON. Go for random character mesh of civilian homeless A, copy the character mesh, paste it here, name it tree. Recalculate nodes, see if it has the insides. Alright, it does. We fully copied it. Okay, great, great. Now let's just copy and paste it a bunch of times, just so we increase the chance of it happening. We could also just completely replace it, but we're not gonna do that. Alright, now let's copy all of these rows and also place them in here. The name doesn't matter, actually, I think. Whatever, just leave it like that. And in here. Let's try to recalculate. Go here. And here we have it. Random character meshes. Now every suspect has a better chance of spawning in as a civilian rather than a suspect. I mean, here is... yeah. It's not even 50-50, it's 4 versus 3. Alright. And we copied the full character mesh string. So this includes his body, hand, face, and even voice. By the way, if you want, like, I found a way just to mute this NPCs completely. I'm not sure why would you need that, but I play with it just so it forces me to like check corners more often so they don't give info about them. There is a parameter here, character speech handle. You can change it to different voice lines if you want, like to use a different character on a different skin, whatever. What you can also try to do here is to just write 0 here. And this way, this NPC is never gonna talk or scream. And it's even not going to show up in subtitles. And also, other players will perceive it the same way. They're not gonna hear anything from him. Same goes for random character meshes. Other players will also see the civilian skins on suspects as well. So let's go ahead and test it. I kind of forgot what I changed already. I remember I changed the weapons to AKM and I changed the skins. Yeah, okay, good. So let's go ahead and try to test it now.
Christ, it's really kicking off out there.
And where the hell are these Coast Boys? They called it a joint
The
venture.
spider.
Really? It's just...
entry team. Suspects have a foothold in this area and they're refusing to cooperate. Entry team, you are go to move and clear.
Let's switch this door and check. And you can see that they do have the skins, but I think I fucked something up and for some reason they don't have the AKMs. I mean, some of them, because I only added AKMs to some of them, so the AKM part I fucked up, but everything else is fine. They do have these civilian skins. They are also quiet for some reason. Not sure if maybe they're just quiet. Yeah, they also talk like civilians as well. So this works too. And this is actually a suspect. Alright, let's try to fix the AKM stuff. AKM, explosive vest, don't need that anymore. Agency, weapon loadouts. Is it the first guy? Yes, AKM. Items, weapons, suspects. Okay, let me actually see the other mod I made. So we just know what to do. Because I actually... turns out I don't actually remember the correct path. Agency. Oh my god, bro. Who cares? Just show me the fucking... weapons suspect. Oh, and I think I wrote it as weapon suspects, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's the issue, I think. Let's try to test it again. Oh, wait. X. Oh, wait. Fuck. What am I doing, bro? What? Paste it here. Okay, good. Let's go test it. They a part of them should have AKMs now. Just started from here, whatever.
Talk here.
Yep.
Suspects have taken refuge in the area
It's working.
and are refusing to cooperate.
Alright. So I kind of showed you quite a lot. Of course, it's not everything. It's not nearly everything you can do with AI in Ready or Not, but I think the video is already way too long and I think I've covered all the basics you need to know. A lot of stuff you will have to search for and test yourself, of course. And sometimes there's gonna be nobody to help you because this game is kind of dead and it's not really a lot of modders working on it. Yeah, you're just gonna have to really try and test different stuff and beat your head against the wall. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the video for now. I will try to paste all the links in the comment section and in description, and also I'll try to link you the download links to like some basic programs if it's gonna help you, but you should be able to download them yourself too. So yeah, see you in the next video.